Hello, peoples. This is Domas. Sorry for the shaky camera, but on request on one of our friends and subscribers, Trey, I'm out here walking in the nature again. My house over there, kindergarten where I went to as a kid. And I'm still living in the same town. Nothing changes. And somehow it's working out. My hometown back for last 4 years, and I don't know, things have just been better. I'm sober, saving money, doing creative stuff with my exhibition and trying my hand at music and trying to get more kind of confident in that, because it's like new things that you try out and you have this voice in your head, like the negative voice that says like, oh, come on, man, like you're not a musician, you're not a rapper or whatever, like you can't do that shit. And it's like, actually I can, thank you for your suggestions, but I can, and I should, and I must if I want to, so for everyone that's, here's a little path of hope. For everyone that's doubting themselves, I'm telling you, behind the fear, there's always gold. There's always jewels that are ready to be excavated, and they've been suppressed, because emotions get suppressed. But when emotions are suppressed, just like the wood, I think, is suppressed in the deep layers of the earth, same like in the deep layers of your soul or psyche, diamonds are formed. And you got diamonds out there, in there. And you gotta pull them out and share it with all of us, because you got beauty in there and we're supposed to share, It's such a good feeling when you share things, even if it's your like inner battles, inner good things, bad things, dark things. If it's inside of you, it's got to come out. But it's easy to talk and it's hard to do. Like, I'm struggling last couple of days, and I'm just like, every time it's hard to do it, but you got to do it. And today I was talking with my friend about art, and it's the last day of the exhibition, and he's like, yeah, but it's like, what about this, that you've created, that you've made? And I'm like, oh, you just like form your own opinion and everything. And he's like, yeah, but wouldn't it be easier if you had a narrative, if you had a story that would like connect all of these things? Wouldn't it be more interesting to you as well if you took like one painting that you've made? Like, you make all kinds of different paintings and they all have different styles, and what about if you took one and you developed it, like you went in it, and you would struggle because you have to like say no to everything else. But what if you did that, maybe that would be better. And I was like, I felt this resistance inside of me. Hello, Crow. Hello. And I thought, no, like, he's probably right. That's why I'm struggling in general, because I'm like trying to do things the same way like I always did and get different results. I don't know, are they crowing at me? Because I used to give them food, and if I don't give them food, I guess they react in a weird way. They're like expecting me to give them food. So people are expecting you to show what you've got inside of you. So he was like talking about this, and I was feeling this resistance, you know. And he's like, you know, he doesn't drink, doesn't smoke, and everything. And I appreciate his opinion. I appreciate his input, and I should go that direction and create this story because I want to create it, but I'm like scared to choose a path and say no to everything else, you know, that I make. So it's scary for me, you know. I don't know if I can combine all of the styles in one painting. I don't know. But like, yeah, so I'm scared of that. But if I'm scared of it, I probably need to go in it. So, and then we met another friend, and he's like a spiritual kind of human, and we vibed. It was easy to speak to him. We talked a lot, like he talked a lot, and we just like, it was easy, you know? Then I looked into his bag, and he had like Rizla or papers for, you know, rolling weed. And I was like, fuck. Like, I listened to his story, and he's like got this new job, and he's like, everything's working out. He's following the signs, and, you know, like, I understand what he's talking about. But I was like, I know that this dude smokes weed, and I know that there's some people around me that are smoking weed. And I'm like, I'm past that point. Like, I can't do any drugs, and I want to be sober. Like, I always thought, I wasn't born with a spliff in my mouth and a beer in my hand. So I want to be sober and do the things that I want to do, you know. So I thought, there's this path. One path that is quite strict, is like one direction, you know. Is one way. It's not many different ways. It's one way. Is one discipline. It's not necessarily one discipline, but like one topic, you know, and you're like going in it. And then there's other way where you can go every sort of direction. And I'm like wondering which is the true way or which is the right way, you know, because I understand this like whole like intellectualizing about your art and making it, putting into a frame, into the words like, you know, whatever, like wording about your art. And then, but I understand this whole other concept, which is like, you know, it's kind of wider, you know. One goes further deep and, you know, excavates something, like pulls something out, you know. There's a direction, there's a goal. And the other one is like exploring the world, you know, like every kind of direction. Whatever the wind blows, you go that way, you know, like, and it's a way to do things. But I think I'm like at the point where I have to like be really strict with myself, you know. And it's maybe sounds strange, and it's quite hard. I think it's quite hard, but I think that will bring me more satisfaction and more depth and more like, I don't know, things, excavated things like diamonds again. So as always, I'm like suggesting things for you, but it's like nice view. But I need to learn from the things that I'm saying myself, you know. And Trey said, go outside. And I was like, yeah, I'm going. Look at that view. That's where we're going. And also with this channel, because I've forgot about it for a while. I didn't forget, but I was like pushing myself so hard to do it. And I lost kind of like, you know, I lost interest in doing it. And I thought, more than anything, I thought that people aren't really like interested in hearing what I have to say and shit. And I was like, I'm just talking the same thing over and over, you know, just doubting myself. But I guess that's, maybe it's part of STPD. It's like I have to do a lot of different things, you know, and it's okay. But sometimes I'm not satisfied with the outcome, you know? Like, I'm looking at this exhibition and I'm like, am I satisfied with this? Or could I have done better? And I know that I could have done better, because everything's like scattered, you know? And I don't want to be scattermind, you know, anymore. I want to be kind of choose a direction, choose a path, and go towards that path. So I don't know if you got any advice or if you have any insights into this, but if you do, share it, comment. And I don't want to talk bad about people who smoke weed. Some people can smoke weed, function and everything. And this one girl said, you know, you think you're better than us because you don't smoke weed, or you see yourself higher than us. And I was like, I was about to fight, you know, not like physically fight, but I was about to argue and be like, no, I don't think like that. But because she said it, and for her it's the truth, I was like, you know what? Yeah, I do feel like I'm better than you. And she was like, oh, he accepted what I said. It's like, yeah, because, you know, I can feel like that. If I want to feel a certain way, I'll feel it. I don't feel like what you're saying, but, you know, I'm going to accept what you said, because I once was smoking weed and I looked at people that don't smoke weed as better. Like, why can they do it and why can't I? Like, why can they quit and why do I need this crutch? Because it's a crutch. It's like, you don't have weed, you don't feel good. You get weed and you're like, oh, yeah, deep breath, you know, like, yes, finally I got it, you know. But deep inside, you don't want it. Like, you don't want to change your mind because of this substance. You want to be clean, you know, like deep inside. If you ask yourself, yes, there's trauma, yes, there's medical uses for that. If you have it prescribed, you know, like, that's different. Like pain, you know, like all kinds of diseases that only weed can help. Like, I agree with it. But if you don't have any, like, if it's trauma and you're not going into trauma to figure it out, you're just putting something away and you're making the problem bigger instead of like doing the work that you need to do, you know, because no amount of weed is going to solve the problems that are within you. And the funniest thing is that those problems, they hide like jewels in them, you know. Once you like figure out what's wrong, like, there's gold behind it, you know. There's actually good stuff behind it, and you can excavate it, and we shouldn't run away from it. And it's actually easier to live, and it's way better. Like, I basically don't have to do anything, and things are starting to work out, you know. They're not working out the way I want them to be, but they're working out the way they have to work out, you know. So I guess this topic, there's many topics. That's how I travel, and my brain travels in all kinds of different directions. And I don't know if I need to go the way that my friend was telling me about. Maybe I just need to do my thing. But sometimes there comes a time to learn, and like, I think I need to learn from what was said to me, you know, because people said certain things, and I'm like, I want to travel, you know. I want to travel with my work. I want to travel, have like a distinct taste and style, and, you know, be like one type of way, you know, people could recognize, you know, because I didn't get it before. I was like, I just want to do what I want to do, you know. And yeah, that brought me to skateboarding, that brought me to alcohol, that brought me to substances, drugs, you know, that brought me to a lot of things that were good at the time and that were bad at the time as well, because I was, you know, I was extending the sentence. I was suffering, and I was kept extending the sentence instead of like actually, you know, healing. And healing brings gifts. When you care about yourself and you love yourself, you know, there's gifts that are being brought to your essence, you know. So don't starve yourself from gifts of the universe, you know, because you deserve to have the gifts. And I'm not saying I'm better, definitely not. I'm definitely not better, but that's the addict thinking, you know. It's like, oh, he thinks he's better, because you're like offended, you know. You're like offended that I'm saying something that is true, you know. Like, you don't need this shit, you know. Whatever. If you have anything to say against it, please do share it. I'm not gonna get offended at all. Maybe we can open a discussion, and you know. But I'm just saying my path, how I like quit it, how I, you know, want to do it. Don't get me wrong, like I want to do it, but it's like you've seen the movie many times, and just for the, you know, the comfort, you're like, I'm gonna watch that movie again, you know. And it's like, you're not gonna learn anything new. It's all the same things that you learned before. So why not to watch a new movie? But I need to stop talking. It's been 16 minutes, and thank you guys as always. I mean, I just wanted to say that you're beautiful. You got gifts to bring to this world, and let the gifts out, you know. Feel the pain, feel what it needs to heal, you know, feel what is inside of you, what is stopping you, what is making you want to scream and cry and do it, you know. Because you're beautiful, you're supposed to do it, you're supposed to feel it, you know, you're not supposed to block it. So, you know, one day at a time, 1 hour at a time, 1 minute at a time, 1 second at a time, you know. And there's help. And once you seek, once you ask, you get the answers. Knock, and you know, the doors will be opened. And if it's not the door, it's the window. So I love you guys as always. Much love. Have a great day, morning, evening, nighttime. And I hope to catch you in the next one. And yeah, leave a comment, whatever. Like, share, subscribe, whatever you want to do. If you like this content, just let me know. And yes, I said about the topics that, you know, I will talk about, but I will get to that as well. I think I'm talking about everything, and yeah, I need to be more like choosy, you know. So I'm gonna try my best. Maybe I'll make a plan or something. So if that's gonna work out, you'll notice. So much love, take care, and peace.